Let's talk about the 4 main reasons that gutter businesses never scale. And to start, we need to define what scaling actually is, because so many people think scaling is just doing more in numbers. And they couldn't be further from the truth. You can literally just continue to grow in numbers with inflation. Material costs keep rising, labor costs keep rising. Like, your revenue will continue to grow. What used to be like, if you were doing $250,000 when I started this gutter business, and with one truck, that was a good year. Like, holy cow, you guys are pumping out some gutters. Where now, one gutter truck can easily do $1.2 million. So if it was just me and one guy, my gutter truck could be doing $1 to $1.2 million every single year. And that's like up here in northern Michigan, where we get really closed up for like 2-3 months out of the year. Not closed, but we significantly slow down. So if you lived somewhere where you got to work year round, say Florida or out west or something like that, different ballgame, even more so. So scaling, what is it then, Colin? Well, scaling is actually replacing yourself in certain duties in the business. Scaling is having other people do things inside of your business that you do today. Things like your marketing, things like sales, things like the install, things like the admin, the office management side of things, ordering of materials, scheduling of jobs, those type of things that you as the business owner have to be doing right now. As you scale your business, other people start doing those for you. So now that we've got like a clear definition of what scaling means, let's talk about the 4 main reasons that people fail to scale. Look at that. Call me Dr. Seuss. First one, they get married to contractors. And I don't mean like physically married to contractors, of course not. But you get so stuck doing jobs for contractors that you don't have time to do any of the other things it takes to actually build your business. What happens when you're married to contractors, we'll just call it sub work, all right? Because it doesn't necessarily mean, general contractors building houses. It could mean roofers or siding guys or whatever. If they're pumping you 15, 20 jobs a week, you don't really have time. And like the caveat to that, like it sounds, well, I'm busy, I'm working, like I'm making money, I'm doing good. Yeah, you probably are, but you don't have that much money comparatively to what a regular gutter business does, because when you're married to subs, you're doing work for low prices. What you're doing for $1,000, I'm doing the same job for $3,000 or $4,000. And the reason that my cost is so much more is I have a sales rep that needs to be paid. I have marketing expenses. I have an admin person that's answering the phone when that customer calls. I have 2 technicians that make really, really good money. I have a vehicle, a brand new truck that they're in with a brand new gutter machine and brand new ladders and all of that. We have, of course, the proper insurances. But we have an office that customers can come to. There are different things that go into that. Well, my bottom line might be the same as yours, but my workload is significantly less than yours in that same realm. And I am actually changing the local economy because my technicians might make 60 to 100 grand in our season, depending on how long the season goes and whatever else. But on average, that's like a 9-month of busting your butt scale, all right? So technicians make that much. My sales reps can go and make $250,000 in a year. My office staff, they can make 40 to 80 grand in a year, depending on what they're doing. My management roles, they make good money. Like, all this changes the economy because it's not just the Colin show. Would it be crooked for me to charge $3,000 or $4,000 for what you're charging $1,000 for if it was still just me? One could argue that, or one could argue that I just do such a better job that I deserve that much money. But moral of the story here, all this cash is not just going into my pocket. That's not how it works. It feeds a lot of other families, all right? So scaling has its benefits. You have people that are loyal to you. You have other people who are branding your company. My team wears our shirts and our hats and everything everywhere. They drive around in company cars. They get a company vehicle to take home every night. That's just branding that gets more of the word out there. I can't go anywhere without somebody saying, man, I see you guys' vehicles everywhere. Or, hey, it's great to see a small local business be doing so well. Like, keep it up. That happens all the time. We live in a really, really small town where not a lot of construction businesses do as well as we do. So don't get married to the sub work, because that equals you doing things for really, really low prices. The next biggest reason that businesses fail to scale is they don't trust employees. Yeah, I ran out of space, all right? They don't trust their employees. And the biggest reason they don't trust their employees is because they don't have the actual time to train the employees the right way. And that's why I'm such a big fan of our learning management system inside of Gutter Launch, where we train literally every employee that you get. I've had 3-4 new employees now over the last 4 weeks. Every single one of them goes through that exact same training inside of Gutter Launch, and they literally like go through it in a couple days and like boom, rocking and rolling. Their assets, whether it's on the truck, in sales, in the office, whatever, they speak the lingo. They know what's going on. They know the difference between A's and B's. They know how to hang a gutter, even if they're just answering phones for me. They get it, all right? And it's a big deal. When you train your employees the right way, you can then trust them. But if you don't train them at all, it's really hard to trust them. Like I was this guy for a long time. I didn't trust employees. It was really, really hard for me to overcome that obstacle. While I spent 6 years building the learning management system, like 6 years, because I wanted to dot every I, cross every T, because I wanted to be able to trust these people. That's it. It's so pivotal that you train them right so you can trust them. Because if you don't train them right and they stay in your company and you never trust them, it's going to be a really exhausting way to live your business entrepreneur life, right? So not trusting employees is probably the biggest hurdle that prevents people from scaling their business. And the last one, we've all been burned by marketing companies, and so people are afraid to spend on marketing. Goodness gracious, sorry people, you can't read that. People are afraid to spend money on marketing, and rightfully so. I get that. We've all given some marketer a bunch of money, been promised the sun, moon, and stars, and it flops, and we're out $4 or $5 grand or 10 grand or whatever money you spent. There are proper forms of marketing. That's why we teach over 30 different marketing levers inside of Gutter Launch, and it's because different levers work different in different territories. I've had territories where direct mail or every door direct mail was amazing, and I've had territories where yard signs were amazing, and then I've had the opposite where yard signs, we literally couldn't keep them. Like they'd get pulled that day by the municipalities, and we get all sorts of they didn't fine us, but fine warnings and whatever else. I've had all sorts, like that's why we need to test all of these different types of marketing levers. There's every door direct mail, there's direct mail, there is yard signs, there is door hangers, there is door knocking, canvassing, there's Facebook ads, Google ads, local service ads, there is Google Guarantee, there's SEO. There's a million different types of ways that you can market, but you need to not be afraid, but be willing to test these different marketing levers, all right? So if you don't want to be one of these gutter businesses that never scales, the number one thing that you need to do is start trusting your employees. If you are unwilling to allow others to be better than you inside of your business is going to be one of those that never scales. But if you are willing to encourage others to be better than you at the admin, better than you at sales, better than you at the install, better than you at ordering and managing, better than you at dispatching, better than you at warehousing, you name it. If you are willing to let one person be better than you at one skill, nobody's ever going to be better than you at all of these skills because it's your business. You have to be. But one person can beat the snot out of you at just one of those skills. And this is where scaling actually comes into play. This is why we can't be the lowest price and scale. This is why hiring people to be better than you at just the marketing is pivotal. Why hiring people to be better than you at just the install is pivotal. Why hiring people to be better than you at just sales is pivotal. People can do one thing really, really, really well. Nobody's gonna do the 7 million things that you have to do well. But the goal is let them do that one thing and take it off of your plate so that you don't have to lower your prices, you just lower your time. That's it. You get more time to do what you want and you lower your time spent in the business.